Hi, everyone. Welcome to Disciples Path. My name is Emily. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. For the last several days, I've been studying and thinking about Elder Andersen's talk, Cherishing Life. I had a lovely time studying this talk, and I got several things out of it. When talking about cherishing life, Elder Andersen had a common theme running through his talk, which was children and the mothers who make life-changing choices to protect them. Little children are among the most vulnerable of God's children, perhaps even the most vulnerable. They need love, support, nurture, and protection more than probably anyone else in the world. And their mothers also need that support. Elder Andersen started out his talk by quoting the Savior, who said, "By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another." Christ didn't say, only love those who haven't made mistakes, or only love those who are convenient to love. He said, disciples are known by their love toward others. Period. We all fall short of perfection, and it's not for us to judge those who sin differently from us. We all have different weaknesses. But as Elder Andersen said, although we cannot change the past, God can heal the past. Forgiveness can come through the miracle of his atoning grace as you turn to him with a humble and repentant heart. Elder Andersen went on to quote President Oaks from his talk, The Great Plan of Happiness. And that quote in full says, "The ultimate act of destruction is to take a life. That is why abortion is such a serious sin. Our attitude toward abortion is not based on revealed knowledge of when mortal life begins for legal purposes. It is fixed by our knowledge that according to an eternal plan, all of the spirit children of God must come to this earth for a glorious purpose, and that individual identity began long before conception and will continue for all the eternities to come. We rely on the prophets of God who have told us that while there may be rare exceptions, the practice of elective abortion is fundamentally contrary to the Lord's injunction, 'Thou shalt not kill, nor do anything like unto it.'" This footnote also referenced a talk from President Nelson called Reverence for Life. President Nelson said, "It is not a question of when meaningful life begins or when the spirit quickens the body. In the biological sciences, it is known that life begins when two germ cells unite to become one cell, bringing together 23 chromosomes from both the father and from the mother. These chromosomes contain thousands of genes in a marvelous process involving a combination of genetic coding by which all the basic human characteristics of the unborn person are established. A new DNA complex is formed. A continuum of growth results in a new human being. The onset of life is not a debatable issue, but a fact of science." Elder Andersen went on to say that nurturing and protecting life that is yet unborn is not a political position. It is a moral law confirmed by the Lord through his prophets. He goes on further in his talk to talk about how wonderful the youth are today and how eager they are to learn the gospel. I agree with him 100%. The youth today are absolutely remarkable. They want to know what's true. Our responsibility as their parents, their extended family, their friends, neighbors, teachers, leaders, is to help them gain those testimonies of the gospel. One day they will be the leaders and the teachers themselves. One day They will be the parents raising the next generation. The last thing I want to talk about in Elder Andersen's talk is his use of the word cherish in the title of his talk. I don't think it was a random choice. He could have used so many different words that mean almost the same thing: preserve, nurture, protect, reverence for, treasure. But he chose cherish. If you haven't learned already, I'm a little bit of a word nerd, so I looked up the origin of the word cherish. This is on merriam-webster.com. And sorry for the ads. But it comes from the Middle English cherishen, from the Anglo-French cherise or cheris, stem of cherir, to cherish, from cher, meaning dear, from Latin charis, and then it said, and this is what triggered me on the use of this word and why it was so important. It says more at charity. So I went and looked at charity. That's from the Middle English cherite or cherit, from Anglo-French cherit. I'm not sure about the accent there. I'm not perfect on French. From late Latin charitat, charitas, Christian love. From Latin dearness. From charis, meaning dear, akin to Old Irish care, meaning friend, Sanskrit kama, love. But it's this, charis. You go back to charity or cherish, and it's charis. Both of them are the same. So they come from the same root. So I looked up the Latin definition, charis, or the feminine cara. The definitions mean, number one, costly, precious, valued. Two, meaning dear or beloved. And three, high-priced and expensive. So that's when I realized that cherish having the same root as charity, cherishing life is Christ-like. That's the connection to President Nelson's talk. And of course, it's all connected because it all points to Christ. And as disciples, we are trying to be like him. I loved making this connection and coming back to charity. In Moroni chapter 7, verse 47, it says, "But charity is the pure love of Christ, and it endureth forever. And whoso is found possessed of it at the last day, it shall be well with him," or her. We are in those last days. Cultivating charity is one of the most important things that we can put our efforts into, which is why President Nelson said we need to work on charity. We need to work on virtue. These are qualities, these are attributes that we need to develop in our lives. So next time, we will be studying Divine Authority, Sublime Young Men by President Stephen J. Lund. Now, again, I didn't get the opportunity to read or listen to this talk as I missed the Saturday afternoon session, so I'm looking forward to going over this talk and learning from it. Please remember to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.